What do you got?
There you go.
And Rick, midway through the second half, LSU cut it to 6, and James Daniel went on a streak, hitting threes, and Greg Walker gave you a lift off the bench too. Could you talk about their play during that stretch?
Well, the reason I came back and give them credit for that, but I think at the start of the second half, every other trip down the floor, we were turning the ball over. You know, we would turn it over, shot a quick three, and again, we think we can shoot the ball, but when we start settling for that early, it's normally not good for us, but James did hit some shots there, and Derek Walker's getting better. I don't think there's any question, and he and Kyle and even John Fulkerson, I think those three guys gave us a lift inside, and we need them all. But at that point, Derek, guys love it when guys like Derek and you know, I think, I will tell you as a coach tonight, my favorite part was the way we ended the game with Eve Pons and those guys out there still trying to play defense, not trying to shoot the ball as opposed to trying to do what we needed to do. And that's where we're fortunate with our team, that we've got guys that I think still value minutes. And in some ways tonight, I thought we were a very immature team. You know, we got up and certain guys weren't breaking out of the offense, not executing, but we need James Daniel, we need Derek Walker, we need them all. You know, February is a time where we've got to continue to get better, and I'm disappointed that last play with James. I think he should have really been trying to get one of those other guys a shot that hadn't been playing, and I just think that you know, as a coach, you're never satisfied with any of it, to be honest with you. You know, when you look at them, and this time of year, you're really wanting to see maturity and consistency. But at that point, when he cut it down, you know, those guys obviously made some good plays for us.
West, Michael, Benson, Grant.
A couple of things. First off, what was the issue with Grant? He seemed to be okay after he came back in the game. And then also with Bone tonight, did he look more locked in or just more focused, or what was the difference there?
Well, with Grant, yeah, he did something where he either got hit. You know, he's dealt with that back hip issue all year, and so I haven't talked to him about it. And again, I thought he tonight broke away from things we were trying to do early, something like that pass he tried to throw, and we'd turn it over, those type of plays. And we need him now to be a mature player. We need him to understand that. But he did come back and do some good things. And, did you have another? I don't know. Bone. I thought Jordan was really. We spoke a little bit yesterday after practice, and I told him I wanted him to come in the game with one thing that he's going to show us that we can count on, and it was the defensive end. And it goes back to what I've always thought: when guys lock in on the defensive end, their natural instincts will take over on the offensive end. I thought he had great command early in the game. I think he was seeing the floor the way we wanted to see him, playing at a pace where I didn't think he was out of control. But it started with the right mindset on the defensive end, and there's games in the past he hasn't done that. So I was glad to see him do it, and that's what he said he was going to do, and he started the game that way.
Hey, Coach. I know you've spoken about this season about wanting your team to hold opponents under 39% defensively. So you held Auburn to, LSU, yeah. You held LSU to 39% today. Just what were your thoughts in the defensive?
Well, again, you know, we knew they were going to a lot of ball screens, throwing the ball inside. Start of the game, we didn't execute our game plan in terms of you know, we wanted to fire down on him because he's really a nice player, and he can do some things from a lot of those guys. They got to get deeper, but he can still shoot that little jump hook, turn around jump shot, and make a three. And our guards didn't do that early, and when we did, we didn't X out of it. But that's our goal, try to keep people under 39. We've been better the last couple. And we would have been maybe even better tonight if we hadn't turned the ball over, because those runouts leads to easy baskets. And so much of your defense, when you talk about shooting percentages, can get distorted a little bit if you're turning the ball over, giving easy runouts and easy baskets in transition. But I do think the second half, our guys locked in really more so than the first half, where I thought they were really doing the detailed things that we're looking for.
Coach, how important is it to still go inside and play inside out when Grant Williams isn't in the game, as opposed to maybe trying to play a different way?
Well, I think it is. I mean, we didn't shoot a foul in the first half, and that wasn't because of the fish shape. That's because, you know, we didn't put any pressure on them in there. And I think early when we did, I think they had a couple nice blocks. And but I think you've got to play high percentage basketball. And like I say, I've said many times, when we take good shots from the three, unrushed, we shoot the ball pretty well. It's when we don't move the ball. I didn't think our guards were moving enough tonight. You know, we keep talking about that. They keep talking about the big guys need to screen more, but they need to move and pass the ball. We've got too many guys at times that just hold the ball as opposed to understanding the ball just needs to get going. But we, as a staff, we think we're better playing inside out, whether it's off the bounce, getting it to the high percentage area, whether it's throwing it into somebody, and then we expect our post guys to make the right play. If they get double teamed, we expect them to kick out, and we expect guys ready to shoot the ball, make the extra pass. And I'm still not happy with the way we have guys that don't recognize the clock. I mean, you know, they get the ball back with 3 seconds. They think they're going to take a dribble, then feed the post. That's maturity, and that's where we've got to be more mature.
I think you guys were +9 when Grant was out. Is that a good sign that when
Yeah.
the guy you're trying to play through is out, you can still get something done?
Yeah, again, and I think it is good because, you know, we've had to play with him. We've had him some games this year, and other times, you know, he's been out there, hasn't been effective, and we played differently. But I just know that we can get better, and we keep asking these guys as individuals to get better, and if they get better as individuals, that means our team's going to get better. And there's a lot of basketball left to play, but now I'm going to start talking a lot about being more mature. What does that mean to these guys? And you can't start a half where every other possession down the floor is a turnover. You can't do that and let teams back in the game. And again, I'm not taking anything from them because they capitalize on it, but we helped them get back in the game in the first half.
Coach, on Monday when we asked you about a couple of things that you wanted to see your team improve on, you mentioned offensive efficiency being pretty high on your list. Tonight you guys shoot 53% on those 24 assists on 33 made baskets. Is that what you're looking for about offense?
Well, what I really want is about 65% and 32 assists. You know, that's what I really want. But again, I do think we're a good offensive team, and what you say, when we're efficient with it, and when we're not sloppy, when you're trying to throw passes from your hips, when guys are playing in a 1-3-1 extended zone and in the passing lane. And you know, our team is built on. There's not a guy that goes on our floor for us that can't score the basketball. If they take shots, they practice game shots, game spots, game speed. We think every guy can catch it, do something with it. We've asked John Fulkerson, we've asked Derek Walker, those guys to get more aggressive. Kyle Alexander, he's looking to score the ball more. We don't want to be, we're going to play through Grant Williams, but when they're coming over there, we expect those other guys to step up and make plays and do some things. And then there's times that we're going to flip it around and start playing through our guards. I said the other day that, you know, I feel like at times we've got 2 or 3 different teams within this team, and but we still are looking forward to just total consistency. And what do we do on the board tonight? We rebounded. Again, I want to see Grant Williams. It's been a long time since he's had double-digit rebounds. Admiral would have gotten there tonight if he hadn't have. You know, that's one thing we asked him to do, and he had 8 in 18 minutes, but got in foul trouble. And I just want to see our front line rebound the ball better.
Steve and Taylor and Mike.
You've talked about how you don't really care who's starting, it's about who finishes a game. How have you been able to get this team to kind of buy into that mindset with the bench production you've had these last few games?
Well, again, I'm going to say this to you. I've told them, and I don't care who it is, we're going to start the guys that are consistently playing the hardest in practice every day. And even though Jordan Bone might not play as well, but nobody's taking that starting job from him. Nobody's, you know, but I really don't care who starts. I really don't. And I do think that having a guy like Lamonte Turner, James Daniel, and I can go down the line, coming off the bench is a major advantage. Because when you go to your bench, in some ways that's where you want the energy to come. And where James Daniel, when he's been at his best, is that he's come in the game and help us turn the heat up. little bit on the defensive end, and Lamonte had been better. You know, I thought tonight he reverted back a little bit, not moving the ball, holding the ball too much, and he wasn't as locked in on the defensive end. And we're just better when we are really focused there. And to answer your question, you know, I've even thought about it. I wish we didn't even have starting lineups. I just wish we ran the whole team out there because that's how I feel about it. And I've told them all along I would be more concerned about am I going to be there at the end to finish the game. But I really don't think much about it. And if it's important to them, they'll do something in practice and get our attention and do something with it.
Rick, is it unique for a freshman to be as vocal as Derek Walker seems to be out there on the floor?
Well, you know, that's one thing we noticed early with him when he got here this summer, and then he went through a period where he didn't do it, where he was very vocal, you know, talking, and he's good at it. You know, he's a guy that really does a good job for the most part. Maybe as good as anybody that we have in ball screen defense, especially the last couple of games where we really jumped out there with a little bit harder help, and you can't be good in ball screen defense if the post guy's not talking. If he's not letting that guard know what's going on, because we went through a stretch where the guards were jumping too soon, people going downhill on us because the post guys weren't yelling out anything. They knew the screen was coming, and now, but he's a guy that does that, and he showed us that when he first got here. He was a guy that somebody's taught him that because he had it before he got here.
Last one.
What do you like most about your offense when you've got Jordan Bone and James Daniel with a kind of dual point guard look, especially when they're playing like they were tonight?
Well, I like the fact that, you know, we can move the ball. We got some speed and quickness, and what I like best is when they're really locked in defensively. That's what I like. But the fact is, both of them can shoot the ball, you know, and they can get going. Both of them can shoot it pretty deep. Two of them totally different. You know, Bone's a guy that can, if he wants to, can get up over people in the mid-range game, and you know, James has a little bit more difficult time with that. But when he gets his feet set, I mean, and he's got deep range, controlled range, and yeah, I mean, I love having guards on the court if they're getting it done, and we can rebound with it. You know, because I look at Bowden and what we really do with our team. We try to teach them all how to play the point. Believe it or not, we want to get to a point someday where we can get those guys rebounded, they can get it and go with it, and we just flow. And those guys obviously get the most reps at the point. Lamonte can do it. Bowden's capable of doing it, but I thought, again, I'm really happy with Jordan Bone because I thought he came in and responded after we had a little talk yesterday, and I'm really happy for him.
Thank you, Coach.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks, Coach.
Rick, I would say that 9-3.
Uh,